You shake someone's hand. Before they say their name, part of you has already decided something. Liked, disliked, trusted, not trusted. That verdict formed in under a second, faster than you could form a single conscious thought, and it will quietly outlast the entire conversation. Psychologists call this thin slicing. That's judging a person's entire character from a tiny slice of behavior. A glance, a tone of voice, the way someone stands. Your brain doesn't wait for evidence. It builds a verdict first, then spends the rest of the meeting quietly defending it, hunting for proof it already assumes is true. Why would evolution build something so reckless? This isn't just about first dates or job interviews. It shapes who gets hired, who gets trusted with a secret, who gets a second chance, and who quietly doesn't. A hesitant smile can cost someone a friendship before they've said a single word. A firm voice can win someone's confidence before they've earned a shred of it. You do this to strangers every single day, and strangers do it to you, usually without either of you noticing. The stakes are higher than they look, and they compound over a lifetime. In 2006, Princeton psychologist Alexander Todorov ran a simple experiment. He showed people unfamiliar faces for just 1/10 of a second, barely enough time to blink. Then he asked them to rate trustworthiness, competence, and likability. Giving people more time to look didn't change their answers much at all. The verdict was already locked in. In plain terms, your brain finishes judging a stranger's character before your conscious mind even catches up. This isn't a flaw in your thinking. It's a feature your ancestors couldn't survive without. On the savannah, a stranger wasn't a networking opportunity. A stranger was a potential threat or a potential ally, and guessing wrong in either direction could cost you everything you had. There was no time for careful analysis. There was only time to decide, safe or not safe, fight or trust, approach or run. Hesitation itself could be the fatal choice. But here's what nobody tells you about that ancient shortcut. It didn't disappear when the danger did. It just changed its target completely. Your brain still runs the same threat scan it once used on lions and rival tribes. Now it runs on your boss's tone of voice, on a co-worker's crossed arms, on a partner's delayed text message. The mechanism is called the amygdala's rapid appraisal system. That's a fast-acting alarm center that scans faces and voices for danger before you consciously notice anything at all. It doesn't ask if the judgment is fair. It only asks one question: are you safe? This is why one cold email from a manager can wreck your sleep for a week. Why one stranger's smirk can make you replay a conversation at 2 a.m., turning it over like evidence. Your ancient alarm system is reading modern life through Stone Age rules, and it genuinely cannot tell the difference between a predator and a passive-aggressive email. The threat feels identical inside your body. Your heart rate doesn't know the difference between a lion in the grass and a single Slack notification. The chemistry is the same either way. Think about the last time you scrolled through a dating app. Half a second per face. Swipe, swipe, swipe. That's not shallow. That's your ancestors' survival software running at modern speed, just aimed at a screen instead of a savannah. Think about a job interview. The interviewer decides how competent you seem before you've even finished your handshake. Then, they spend the next 30 minutes quietly collecting evidence to confirm what they already believe. That's not incompetence on their part. That's the same rapid appraisal system, just wearing a suit. Even you do it. You meet a new roommate, a new neighbor, a new manager, and within seconds, you've quietly filed them under safe or unsafe, long before either of you has said anything real about who you are. So that handshake from the very beginning was never really about the other person. It was about your amygdala running an ancient threat check in under a second, using their face as raw data. You weren't reading their character. You were reading your own nervous system's guess about your own safety. Here's what changes everything. If your first impression is a survival reflex and not a fact, then you can question it. You can hold your verdict a little longer than instinct wants you to. You can let a second impression compete fairly with the first, instead of just confirming it. You still shake someone's hand and decide something in an instant. But now, you know that verdict isn't truth. It's just your oldest instinct, quietly guessing in the dark, and you get to decide if you believe it. What's the fastest judgment you've ever been wrong about? Tell us below.